Making Mastery Learning a Reality, one day at a time. Welcome to a new podcast by me, your host, John Bergman. I am one of the pioneers of flipped learning, and I am standing in my classroom. If you're listening to this in an audio podcast, I am standing in my classroom. Those of you watching some video, you can see this. And I want to the purpose of this podcast is going to be for me to just walk you through my mastery classroom and how I do mastery. So this is my classroom. It's designed for collaboration. And those of you who are listening, I've got different pods and different areas. There's a space right here for students to work. There's specific areas for students to take we call them boss battles. And the boss battles are their summative assessments. This is an experimental room, and you can see different lab tables, and that's where we're doing experiments. I'll be filming some of these as the course of the year goes on, and you can listen and or watch and hear what's going on in the classroom. I've done some reflections about this. It's crazy. My students arrive on Monday morning. Today's Friday. And they arrive on Monday morning, and wow. Teachers, has not this been just the craziest year ever? We have come out of a crazy, crazy year. So I've got some goals this year. And that's going to kind of be the focus of this podcast is what's John learning? Number one, I want to get to know my students, because I know that if you don't get to know your students, game's over. I don't care if you're doing mastery learning, flipped learning. I don't care if you're lecturing. If you don't really get to know your students, the students don't care what you know until they know that you care. You know that. Relationships, relationships, relationships. Build those relationships that will make all the difference in the world. But I'm also good pedagogy. And the pedagogy we're going to be using is mastery learning. And I'll be walking you through the steps on how I'm doing that. And I encourage you to, stay tuned, and if this helps you, etc. Now, let's go back to relationships and how to get to know students. So here's the big deal. How do I get to know students? How do you do it early? How do you jumpstart it? You know what I do is I memorize all the students' names, literally before they walk in the door. Isn't that crazy? It's going to take me a couple of hours, and I've already started the process. Here in my room, as I'm standing, I have got rooms, and I'm holding up my seating chart. Here's my seating chart. And I'm going to sit here and practice learning their names. So I've been practicing already with just this one section. This is going to take hours, by the way. So I've just started literally just a few minutes ago. And I'm going to see if I can do this right here, right? So I've got Christopher. So I looked at the paper. I've memorized the paper. Christopher, Maiden. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, by the way. Elise, Patrick, Aiden, Alan, London, Izzy, I'm struggling with Izzy, Jack, and Cash. So I've learned whoever sits at this table, there's about 8 or 10 kids, I have memorized those names for my first class. I have to do that for the second class, the third class, the fourth class, the fifth class. This is going to take time, but it's just going back and forth through that process. So job one is to get to know your student. The other thing I've been working on, really this has been the main focus of this week before school starts to get ready, is I've been designing protocols and routines that my students are going to use as they walk through mastery learning. So I've created a mastery learning rubric for each class where they're going to have, it's a choose your own adventure where they get one of 3 things. If you look at my blog post, that's going to be explained more how that's done. So I've been really preparing, and the thing that's important that I'm going to do in the first few days is spend time teaching students how to learn in this model. And the key components that I will be teaching them are the following: kind of how does it work in mastery learning? And I've created some videos to that effect. If you watch my blog post, you can actually watch the videos that I sent home with my students. I'm going to be adding an interactive notebook so that my students who need extra organizational skills, actually all kids do, but I'm going to be teaching them how to utilize their chemistry interactive notebook, or physics. I teach both chemistry and physics. I'm also going to teach them how to watch an interactive, or how to interact with a educational video, and of course that whole piece of getting to know them. So there's a number of things. So the first week of school is we're going to be learning how to learn by learning the stuff. So it's not like I'm going to say, well, we're just going to learn how to learn. I'm going to introduce them to science topics through the process, and we're going to do them all together, and eventually with the idea that they'll be able to do some of these things independently. But I don't assume that they can do them independently on their own, because they can't. I mean, they don't know, right? So I hope that helps, and that you get an idea of how you might want to set up your mastery classroom so we can make mastery learning a reality one day at a time. So hey, I encourage you to click subscribe on the podcast link if you're watching via podcast, or subscribe on the YouTube channel. John Bergman out.